Hey everyone, we're back today working on this trailer and we're gonna get into the brakes. I've gone ahead and installed a brake controller on the truck and got all the lights and everything working, and the brakes are still not working. So we're gonna do some troubleshooting and see why we're not getting power back there, and take the wheels off and see what the brakes look like, and hopefully get them working today. So let's get on into it. All right, so we're gonna start here with this little box here. There's like a junction box. The signal from the trailer hitch comes here first, and guessing it goes out into the two different brake assemblies. So I'm just gonna open that up and see what's going on in there, because I feel like that's a good place to start. Oh boy, looks like we got a dusty little mess in here. Let's see what's happening. Got all these, everything in this trailer has had these little splice connectors for one reason or another. We have black and white coming in and going out. That makes sense. For this assembly, we have a black coming in. Okay, that's good. We should have a white going out, which we do. Okay, we have what we need there. The next step, I suppose, would be to test power, test the voltage coming in here. All right, so I've gone ahead and connected my multimeter to these leads. I got the red lead on the blue connector for the trailer plug, which is the brake signal, and then the black lead is connected to the white for ground. Got my multimeter set to DC volts, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the truck on and press the brake and see what happens here. Okay, looks like 4.71. The truck is not on right now. I mean, it's on, but it's not running. But that's some voltage coming from the brake controller. I just have a level that I wedged between the brake pedal and the seat, so the brake's still on. So that's a good sign. We're getting voltage, everything's working. So next step is to open up the wheel and see what's going on back there. Alrighty, well, we're back here on this side. We're gonna pull these lug nuts off and start looking at what's going on in here. To be honest, I'm a little concerned about what I'm gonna find, but let's see what it is. First, and then jack the trailer up. Oh, really? Gone ahead and removed this cap here. It's got some grease in there. That's good, at least it's not dry. I'm gonna remove this and the retainer and everything. So we'll see what the bearings look like in here. The bearings are just pressed into this whole hub. Okay, so the nut is off. Let's have this little retainer to pull out. Doing my best to not get completely covered in schmoo, as somebody would say. Let's take this whole thing off of here now that we see that it's loose. And the bearing's just gonna fall right out. So this line has been just destroyed. It's cut, it's loose, it's nothing's working in here. I mean, these shoes are shot, completely shot. Basically gonna need to replace everything. Without this working, that means also the emergency brakes won't work. So yeah, I suppose I just need to get a whole new shoe, spring kit, and everything for all four. Not necessarily something that I wanted to do, but I suppose it could have been expected. This thing right here is an electromagnet, and when the current is applied to these wires, it engages the electromagnet. The electromagnet sticks to the hub here, the drum, and it sticks to this part of the drum, and then as the drum spins, it engages. So it's moving with the drum now, and then it pushes this all the way over and engages the brakes. But right now it's not engaging anything because this whole wire is just hanging off here, not connected. So that's what we got. And I have no reason to believe that there's gonna be anything different in the rest of these. So I'm gonna have to get a kit for every single wheel here and replace it all. Hey there. So it's been a couple days since I got into these brakes, and I decided just to get a whole new assembly for every wheel. So this is a stack of 4 new assemblies. It's got all of the shoes, the hub, the electromagnet, everything in here. And I'm just gonna go through and take all these off and replace them one by one. So let's take a look and see what comes in the box. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. We have the whole brake assembly here, the shoes, the electromagnet, some wires that I can connect and actually get to work. It's got all the springs and everything, and the adjuster here, and it just attaches with these 4 bolts. I had to make sure that I did get the right size for this trailer. Comes with a brand new hub. Had to make sure that these bolts were the same size as the ones that I have, so that my wheels will go on here. So there's all that, and then comes with this bag of all the parts to put it together. So it's got an axle seal, it's got the inner and outer tapered bearings, which I'm going to have to pack with grease. It's got all the nuts to mount it, and it even comes with some little lug nuts, which I probably won't use because I have larger lug nuts, and it's got 2 types of hubcaps here, one with a rubber seal and then one like what we have already. So it's really just the whole assembly. Got the nuts and the lock washers and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this first one off and install this one, and just wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, so it's the next day, and I spent yesterday fighting a battle with this first hub and backing plate. There was a couple bolts that are really hard to get to and really hard to get off. I had to get out an angle grinder. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start over with this one and go over the full process now that I understand what I'm getting into a little bit more. And I'll try to show you all the details of replacing this one. And also, I haven't opened this yet, so we get to see what's behind there together, which is exciting. Okay, first step here is to pull off this cap. Just kind of tapped it before. Okay, it's nice and loose, and I think I can get in there with the flathead now and just kind of go around and gently pry on it. There. Let's try to, oh, yeah. Yummy. Okay. I did not put that much grease in the other one that I just did. I did pack the bearings, but I didn't fill the grease cap with grease. So now there's this little lock ring here that fits into the castle nut, so I'm just gonna pop that one tab down, just like that. And now this nut will just spin right off. The kit that I got has all these parts, so that is a nice thing about this kit, is that it just comes with everything you need, aside from the tools, of course. And this should all just slide out. So I think what I'm gonna do is just pull the hub off at this point. Oh, it's a live spider in there. How about that? So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this axle so that it's a little bit nicer to work around here. And there you can tell there's just this shoe, I'll show you in a second, there's not a bit left on there. It's just all disintegrated. Then cut the wires off of here. I'm just gonna take all this stuff off just because I feel like it's easier for me to take it off and get in there. So the electromagnet. I kind of push these things in and twist at the same time. There we go. Okay. Pull that off as well. Oh yeah. Cobwebs. There's that spider. Oh, what kind of spider are you? You can see from the front here, these studs, 4 studs that are pressed into this backing plate here that are bolted on to the axle on the back here. And what happened yesterday is these things just started spinning in there. Nearly impossible to grab with the vice grips. I was able to get 2 of them with the vice grips, and the third one I had to cut off. But the first thing I'm gonna do is spray some PB Blaster on there. Let's get some of that on there. Yesterday I just started with the breaker bar on the ones that I could. Okay. Success on one so far. So the issue really wasn't loosening them, they weren't really tight, but the issue was getting towards the end of the stud. Okay, so far so good. Let's try to break this one. Okay. And now this one is the really tricky one to get to. There's no space for anything back there. So I gotta use this flare nut wrench. Another wrench. Okay. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Okay. So it's just gonna be a whole lot of this monkey business, getting these things off. Oh, did that not break loose? I guess it didn't break loose. Just rounding it off, so that is a shame. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking these out and then get the grinder involved. And so what we got here is a similar situation to what I had yesterday, which is that one of these nuts just came off. Yay, one of them came off. The rest I got issues with. These two are just spinning. So when I spin the nut back here, the whole stud is spinning, so it won't come off. So I'm gonna try some vice grips on those. And then this one, the nut is just completely rounded over. Can't get it out. So I'm gonna have to definitely cut that stud and push it through. So first let's try the easy stuff. Let's see if I can get a hold of this with some vice grips here and get that off. Let's give that a shot. Make sure I'm fully on the nut. Oh yeah, that's not working. Okay. Maybe I got lucky on this side and I'll have to cut 3 of them out of 4. Okay, make that a little tighter. It's just so hard to get access here. Yeah, that's just not happening. No luck. Okay. Gonna have to cut them all. Luckily I have my grinder here. All right, so as you can see, that was a major pain in the butt, but we got it. If you're gonna cut these off, or if you have to cut these off, you gotta be really careful not to cut your axle here, especially where the bearings ride, and careful not to cut into that plate very much or at all. I did nick it a bit down here, but I don't think that's gonna weaken it enough to matter. But yeah, it's just not something I was expecting to have to do here. I thought it was just gonna be nice and easy, and that's it. Just throw it on there and call it a day. 4 bolts, you know. I feel like anytime you're describing a job by the number of bolts it takes, it's gonna be a problem. Like, oh yeah, it's just 3 bolts. That's all it is. It's just 4 bolts. No big deal. Next step here is going to be to prepare the hub. I'm going to pack the bearings. So this kit comes with an inner bearing, which is a little bit larger, and an outer bearing. And it also comes with this axle seal. So I'm just going to kind of go along the edge here and push this grease little by little into the bearing in between the cage of the bearing and the needles. I think that's good enough for that side. Now when I come back around on the top side of the bearing, or the smaller side, the narrower side, you'll see the grease start to push out, and that's how you know it's packed all the way in there. So I just go through and get the grease to push out there, and that's it. I'll set that one aside and go on to the bigger one. All right, now that sucker's ready to go in there. I'm just gonna set it in there. Whoop, just like so. Okay, and I think I can clean these gloves up, take them off. So I don't want to be grabbing all my tools with these greasy gloves. Okay. Now we got to put this seal in. Just going to put it in just like so. And oops, gotta kind of hammer it in evenly. The best way to do this is with a 2x4 so you can get a nice flat, even pressure on it on both sides. There it goes. Done. Let's go back over to the axle and put the backer plate on. Be sure to find which way your wires are going so that you can get them in the correct side. Okay, so this thing is just going to slide right in, and it does. That's good. Good news. Okay, and then we just got to get these things come with split washers, which I do not trust. We'll see how they hold up. I'm definitely gonna periodically check everything here, so I want to make sure that nothing falls off. All right, let's go ahead and tighten everything up. That's on there. Next step is to put the hub on. All right, so let's just carefully put this on here. Beautiful. And I'm just gonna get this smaller bearing on as well. Get that in there. Just go ahead and put the washer on and this lock ring, and then tighten the nut, and it should just kind of press everything in there. Of course, I don't want to be too rough with it. You shouldn't really need to tighten this at all. So everything's seated in there, and I'm just going to loosen it a little bit. So that should spin freely. So I imagine once I connect the power, they will kind of adjust themselves. There's also the little spot on the back where I can adjust them if I need to. So make sure it can't rock around or anything. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to just bend this tab up. And that's that. And now all I gotta do is put this cap on. So I found that putting this on, you just kind of go around the edge and tap it in. Next step is to connect the electrical. All right, so future me here, and I made a mistake. I realized I installed 2 of these drum assemblies backwards. I thought that the wires should go towards the box in the middle. That was dumb. The way it's actually supposed to go is this arm right here that is connected to the electromagnet. It has like a hook to it. That hook should face towards the front of the vehicle. And so I just realized that and spent not so long fixing it. Ready to wire this thing up, but before I do, I want to go ahead and just make sure that that brake controller is sending a signal to these wires, just as a way of troubleshooting this before I get confused. So I'm just gonna strip these down and connect my multimeter to it and see if we're getting some voltage here. All right, so we got a solid 4.1 volts, 4.3. It's dropping because the truck's not on, but we do have voltage there, so that's good. Let's clip it on the other one and see if we get voltage there as well. Nothing. What is going on there? Is something loose in here? All right, so I got these little alligator clips connected to everything. So basically wiring up the brakes as if they were connected to the trailer. And I just want to see what happens when I push on the brake pedal in the truck and make sure that these things lock up before I go and do all of the connections of the wires. So right now they spin. So I'm gonna go press the brake and then see if they lock up. Okay, so this one locked up, I can hear it. This one, not working. So there is something going on in here with these splice connectors. Something's not right. So I'm gonna have to get in there and look at that and make that right. Okay, so I've gone ahead and wire nutted these together, got rid of these splices. I'm guessing that the wire wasn't making good contact there. Really don't like those things. And I have these alligator clips connected back to all of the leads now. So hopefully we get both brakes coming on when I press the brakes on the truck. So let's give that a shot. For some reason that one is louder. No, it's just quieter. I don't know, I have no idea why that is, but it is. So that works. Let's go ahead and turn the truck off. Now all I gotta do is finish wiring this thing up. I went ahead and marked these wires with some white tape so that I know that they're the white ones. I'm gonna tape everything up and then connect the electromagnets, make sure everything's tucked away nice and clean, and then I'll put the wheels back on and that'll be one side done. So I've gone ahead and put on some butt splices here, got everything connected, and everything works, is good to go. So I'm just gonna put the wheels back on and I'm gonna flip the trailer around and do the other side. And I'll let you know if I find anything different than I did on this side. Otherwise, I'll meet y'all back in the truck to set the brake controller and make sure everything's working good there. So, see you back over there. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the other two, and I'm ready to test it out with the brake controller. I had to cut every single bolt on those last two. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I tested everything and it does work. I even tested the emergency brake. I pulled out the pin and it does stop the hubs. So that's good. So they recommend with this brake controller to start at a gain of 4 and a sync of 4. Okay, so a bit of a weird angle, but here's the brake controller. I'm gonna turn up to 4, turn the sync up to, it's at 7, let's get it to 4. Okay, and now I'm gonna let the truck move forward, and if I move this little thing, the brake should be applied, and it's not really slowing it down much. So let's turn up the gain. So we got 10, turn up the sync. Okay, and let's try that again. Oh yeah, it stops the truck, and I'm on a little bit of an incline. So I would call that a success, and I don't really want that much braking power, especially on an empty trailer, so we'll just go back to 4, turn the sync back down to 4, and call that good. And yeah, everything stops a lot better now than it used to. All right, so I've driven about 100 miles or so with this thing, with the new brake job done, and hauled some wood with it and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten up these lug nuts and make sure everything's still tight, but it all works well, and I'm happy with this job so far. So keep you posted if anything catastrophic happens, but that's gonna be it for this video. So thanks for watching.